Hello Rick, this is Walter Danhart. We've been at the show and I promised to send you a video on how I set my tool lengths on my machine and a question I had about the best way to do that. So what I normally do is I set my Z0 reference point just using a 1, 2, 3 block, a known dimension from my spindle nose to my workpiece. And what I'll do is I'll go in here and I have set up in my control a tool. I call it tool number 1, 1, 2, 3 block. That's 3 inches long. So with that known, I go up and I define a fixture offset and I set my Z for G54, and as we discussed the show, I think there's a bug here because this doesn't update right away. I have to first go in and re-update G54 in order for that to go to 0. But anyhow, so now the machine is at a 0 position, and what I'll do is I'll jog the machine up and touch off on the next tool. Okay, so next I change to my tool, which is a 1/2 inch end mill. I call this tool 23, and I jog down to my workpiece Z0 with a piece of paper and until I touch, and I set my tool here so it's reading the correct tool, and I'll go in and I'll define tool offset, and I'll make sure it reads the same tool here as there. And I want to set program 0, or program based on the program DRO, the Z. So when I do that, this should turn to 0. So set, and obviously it didn't set to 0. You know, I told it this is the length of that tool and I want that tool to be 0. And what's confusing to me is that if I go to the tool library and first zero out the length of this tool, okay, so right now it has a 0 Z length offset. Okay, and then I go up here and I do the same thing. I say tool offset, 1/2 inch end mill, set this to 0. Now it's set it to 0. Okay, so that works correctly, but it requires that I first go in and zero out the length. And to me, I don't see why that's necessary. Seems like it should be able to, you know, it knows where it's at, you know, relative to the machine, and it knows the offset for G54. So when you tell it to set the length, I would think it could read and write that length into the offset value and not even worry about the value that's there. I would take the value that's there and just blow it away and replace it with the new. So maybe I'm doing something wrong here, but maybe you can, I guess, let me know if that's just the way it is or whether I'm doing it wrong. Alright, thank you.